Hello students, today I'm going to do airstream mechanism with you. Let's begin. First of all, we need to know the main purpose of language is communication, and it is done at two levels. The medium of communication can be spoken, it can be written as well. There is a predominance which speech takes over writing everywhere in all the languages all over the world. How? Speech, first of all, comes first in the history of a linguistic community. We started speaking, and then the word was invented, and then the printing press brought all the written material to circulate in the world. And then, in the life of a particular individual, also, speech precedes writing. We start speaking at the first place, then we learn how to write. Then speech is a medium of a language that is used much more frequently as compared to writing. And first and foremost is this fact as well that modern technology has contributed a lot to the importance of speech. The invention of internet, World Wide Web, then WhatsApp, social media platforms, chat rooms, video conferences, and now the whole teaching learning exercise being done in virtual mode through Google Class. All this has absolutely increased the importance of speech over writing. Now, linguistics is a branch of knowledge. It is a scientific study of language. It is a systematic study of language, and it is further has various branches of study, that is phonology, phonetics, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So we are going to deal with phonetics here in this paper. Phonetics is that branch of linguistics that deals with the three aspects of the sounds of human speech, that is production of the speech sound, its transmission, and reception. Now, the three components, main chief components of sound production are: number one, airstream mechanism; number two, phonation; number three, articulation. We have to take up airstream mechanism in this session. I'm going to deal with it in detail because airstream mechanism forms the basis of the production of speech sounds. If it is not there at the first place, the production of sounds is just next to impossible. No speech sound can be produced without the presence of an airstream mechanism. Now let us see what is an airstream. It is basically the airflow, or you can also call it a moving current of air. Now, human respiratory system is very important in airstream mechanism because we continuously breathe in air and breathe out air. There is a airflow that goes in and that comes out of the lungs, and it is the respiratory system that makes it possible. So the human respiratory system contains of the windpipe or the trachea, and it also has the lungs, which contains the bronchi, the bronchioles, and the alveoli. If you look, students, you can pay attention to the cursor on the right image. Air enters the human body through two passages. One is nose and the other is tongue, and it is expelled out of the human body also through these two passages. And inside the mouth, at the back of the neck wall, there is an area which is called pharynx. Yes, and from here the two passages get joined, the nasal passage and the oral passage, to form one common area, right? And further it gets split into two passages. One is the windpipe and the other is the food pipe. Now we are concerned with the windpipe here, or the trachea here, the air which enters the body from the outer atmosphere through nose and mouth, oral cavity, goes to the trachea, and through the trachea it goes inside the left and right lung through two main big tubes which are called bronchi, right? Here also on the left image you can see this is the trachea, and it gets branched out in two big tubes, left side of the lung and at right side of the lung. So these are bronchi. Now bronchi further branch out into small tubes which are called bronchioles, and at the end of these bronchioles, see where the cursor is moving, you find a cluster of small sacs or small tiny bag kind of a structure. There is a group and a cluster and a bunch of these at the end of each small tube in the right and left side of the lungs. It is called alveoli. So alveoli is the place where the air from the outer atmosphere goes, carries oxygen, and each cluster is further it is girdled with surrounded with capillaries, the passages of blood vessels, where oxygen from the alveoli is transferred to the blood, and the carbon dioxide in the blood is further transferred to the alveoli and is pushed through the bronchioles into the bronchi, into the trachea, and from the trachea through the nasal passage or the mouth into the outer atmosphere. So this keeps on happening through the functioning of all these organs of human respiratory system. So this is a further elaboration of what happens at alveoli. You can see that this is a small sac. Here the air comes in from the bronchioles, the small tubes, right, and oxygen is passed to the blood passage, and in return carbon dioxide is given back to alveoli and is pushed out of the windpipe into the outer atmosphere. I hope it's clear. Let's move on. So what constitutes the human respiratory system? We need to know the biology in order to understand airstream mechanism. So it has first of all the trachea or the windpipe and the lungs, and it also has the muscles of the chest. The lungs are the spongy bodies and they contain bronchi. Bronchi are the two large tubes, one on the right and the other on the left side of the lungs, which consists of bronchioles. And what are bronchioles? Bronchioles are small tubes that come together, join together to meet the two big tubes which are bronchi, and air is supplied to the alveoli by these small tubes called bronchioles. What are alveoli? These are small sacs which are attached in the form of a cluster at the end of the small tubes called bronchioles. And the function of alveoli is this, that blood is cleaned of its carbon dioxide and provided with fresh oxygen from the outer air here. Bronchi, the two big tubes, join the windpipe or trachea. Now let us look at what two processes are involved in respiration. One is inspiration, that means taking outer air into the lungs, and the other is expiration, that means throwing out air from the lungs into the outer atmosphere. When I take the air in, it's inspiration which is taking place, and when I push the air out, it is expiration that is taking place. So how does an airstream mechanism work? Now what sets the air to flow in this way? There has to be some trigger, some stimulation to make the air move in this manner. In order to understand the airstream mechanism that moves in human body, works in human body, this analogy or this comparison will make it very clear to you. It will be easier for you to understand how it works. See, it works like a flit gun. you have played Holi with these kinds of pitchkaris or tools, as to say. So here you see in the picture there is a plunger at the end. Okay, when you have to fill in the liquid in the body of this tube, you pull the plunger out and move it in one direction, and when you have to push the liquid out, you push the plunger in. So this makes the movement of the liquid in and out of the main tube, the main body of this instrument, right? This flit gun. So plunger is the initiator in this flit gun. So this is the plunger which acts as the initiator, or which sets in the process of initiation of movement of liquid or maybe air in this instrument called the flit gun. Now, how does an airstream work in human body? Just as a liquid is set into motion by a plunger in a flit gun, similarly an airstream is set into motion by an initiator in human body. So the walls of the lungs act as the initiator in the airstream mechanism, right? So they are the ones which exert some pressure and make the air get in and move out of our body. So there are three kinds of airstream mechanisms, students, basically used for the production of speech sounds or in languages all over the world. The first one is pulmonic airstream mechanism, the second is called glottalic airstream mechanism, and the third is valeric airstream mechanism. Let us look at pulmonic airstream mechanism and how it works. Pulmonic is related to the lungs, so that means the airflow is related to the lung air, okay, and walls of the lungs act as the initiator. They are responsible for setting the air into motion. Respiratory muscles move these walls in order to further cause air to move, and due to this movement of the walls, air is pushed out and pulled into the lungs. The air that is thrown out is modified by the organs of speech for sound production. The airstream mechanism where the air is taken in is called ingressive, and the one where the air is exhaled is called egressive. English is a language which uses the pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism for the articulation of speech sounds, and most of the languages, Indian languages, leaving aside Sindhi language, they make use of pulmonic aggressive airstream mechanism. Students, you need to keep in mind the term aggressive, because pulmonic airstream mechanism is again of two kinds, ingressive and aggressive. Ingressive, where the lung air is being taken in, okay, and aggressive, a mechanism of the lungs where the air is being pushed out. So it is the air, lung air, that is being released out, which forms the basis of the production of speech sounds in English and most Indian languages. Let us look at the second kind of airstream mechanism, which is called glottalic airstream mechanism. Now, what is a glottis? Glottis is an open space between the two vocal cords, right? And it is the air in the pharynx, okay, which is used for the production of speech sound in this kind of a system of airstream mechanism, and therefore because of the use of air in pharynx, it is also called pharyngeal airstream mechanism. Now, Sindhi is the language among Indian languages which uses glottalic ingressive airstream mechanism. Ingressive, that is, the air is being taken in, okay, during the functioning of this airstream mechanism, and that's when the sound gets produced. Next airstream mechanism is the valeric airstream mechanism. In this mechanism, the back of the tongue acts as the initiator to set the air into motion, and the air that is used is that which is trapped in the mouth. Because the mouth air is used to produce sounds through this mechanism, it is also called the oral airstream mechanism. And this airstream mechanism is used in several African languages. Now, you need to keep in mind these two airstream mechanisms which are not used by any language all over the world. That is, number one, pulmonic ingressive airstream mechanism. It is used rarely in any language for the purpose of communication. It is just used for the expression of interjections, the expressions of sudden emotions of joy in certain languages. And we also use this mechanism when we snore and when we yawn. And valeric aggressive mechanism is another one which is not being used and has never been used by any language all over the world. Now, the key points which you need to remember are these: that language, number one, has two mediums, that is spoken and written. Speech takes predominance over writing, and therefore it needs to be understood at all levels. Linguistics is a systematic study of a language. Phonetics, a branch of linguistics that deals with production, transmission, and reception of the speech sounds. Airstream is the basis of articulation or production of speech sounds, and organs of speech, they change or alter or modify the airstream into various speech sounds. It is the lung air that is pushed out of the lungs which forms the basis of the production of speech sounds in most of the languages. Air is breathed in and breathed out through lungs. The human respiratory system contains the lungs, the muscles of the chest, the trachea or the windpipe. And the lungs have alveoli, bronchi, and bronchioles. What are the alveoli? They are the tiny sacs or bags in which the blood is purified of its carbon dioxide and gets oxygen. Air reaches alveoli through small tubes called bronchioles, and these bronchioles join together into two large tubes called the bronchi on both the right and left side of the lungs. When the air is taken inside the lungs from outside, this process is called inspiration, and when the air is pushed out from the lungs, it is called expiration. Airstream mechanism sets the air into motion, and it works like a flit gun. The walls of the lungs act as the initiator in pulmonic airstream mechanism, and when this airstream mechanism is used to draw air in, it is called ingressive. When an airstream mechanism is used to push air out, it is called aggressive. And there are three kinds of airstream mechanisms. They are pulmonic, glottalic, and valeric airstream mechanism. See, it is also said that the production of sounds begins with the process of initiation. What sets the air current to flow, to move? Is it happening because of the muscles of the chest? Is it related to the lungs, pulmonic, or is it the glottis where the initiation is taking place, the setting of the air into motion? Because of that it is called glottalic. Or is it the back of the tongue or the velum which is involved in this process of moving the air or setting the air current into motion? And that's how these airstream mechanisms have been named after the various initiators. If the lung is the initiator, it is pulmonic. If glottis is the initiator, it is glottalic. And if velum, the back of the tongue, is the initiator, it becomes valeric airstream mechanism. Now you need to remember, students, that English and most of the Indian language use the pulmonic aggressive airstream mechanism in the production of speech sounds. Here the breathed out air of lungs, the breathed out air from lungs forms the basis of production of sounds. And the glottalic airstream mechanism, it is the one in which the closed glottis is the initiator and the air in pharynx is set into motion for speech production. It is also called pharyngeal. Sindhi is the language which uses the glottalic ingressive airstream mechanism. And in Valeric airstream mechanism, the back of the tongue is the initiator and air in the mouth is used for the production of speech sounds. Many African languages are spoken with Valeric ingressive airstream mechanism. One such language is Swahili. And pulmonic ingressive airstream mechanism and Valeric aggressive airstream mechanisms, they are not used for producing the speech sounds of any language. So what are the key terms which we have learned in this session or in this talk? They are airstream, airstream mechanism, alveoli, bronchiole, bronchi, inspiration, expiration, glottis, pharynx, pulmonic ingressive airstream mechanism, pulmonic aggressive airstream mechanism, glottalic ingressive airstream mechanism, and Valeric ingressive airstream mechanism. Let's look at the short answer type questions which you should be able to attempt on the basis of all that you have experienced and learned through this. Number 1. What is an airstream mechanism? I hope you would be able to attempt this question, because by now I am sure you must have understood each and every concept related to the first step which goes into the production of speech sounds, that is initiation, and which is related to airstream mechanism. Then write a note on pulmonic airstream mechanism, write a note on glottalic airstream mechanism, write a note on Valeric airstream mechanism. Question number 5. Which airstream mechanism is used in the articulation of speech sounds of the following languages? The languages are English, Sindhi, Hindi, and Swahili. Each question carries 4 marks. Further, you have another list of short answer type questions. Question number 1. What are the components of human respiratory system? Where and how does the blood get oxygenated? Question number 3. What is the difference between bronchi and bronchioles? Question number 4. What is inspiration and expiration? Question number 5. What is an ingressive airstream mechanism and an aggressive airstream mechanism? Question number 6. Is it possible to produce sounds without an airstream? If no, explain why so with examples. You have a list of 3 long answer type questions in front of you. Question number 1. What is an airstream mechanism? How is it mandatory for sound production? Describe its kinds. Question number 2. How does the human respiratory system work? Explain with a diagram. Question number 3. Which airstream mechanism is used in the articulation of English speech sounds? Describe it in detail. Each of these questions carry 16 marks. One thing which I would like to bring to your notice, students, is this, that if a question has more than one part, it has 2 or 3 parts, then the marks which are allotted for that question get equally distributed between those parts. For example, the first question has 3 parts. 1, the definition of airstream mechanism. 2, the reason why it is compulsory and needed and necessary and unavoidable for the production of sounds. And number 3 is describe its various kinds. So if the question carries 16 marks, that means for each of this part you will get almost 5.5 or 5.2 score. The marks get equally divided for all the parts which are there in the question. I hope you have been able to understand the airstream mechanism, its kinds, how an airstream mechanism works, what constitutes human respiratory system, and what airstream mechanisms are used to produce the languages of the world, and what are the ones which are not used to produce any language in the world. These are the references which I have used to bring this together, and you can even look at these online websites and further read into depth, read deeply about these concepts. So happy learning. Thank you so much.